First, ABC 10's Roxanne Elias talked with an advocate who worked alongside Cesar Chavez in Sacramento and Stockton. Roxanne, what have you learned?
Chris and Laura, Luis Magaña says there's shock in the Latino community following these allegations. Some are now even distancing themselves from Chavez. Magaña also believes those closest to him at the time could have spoken up, and they didn't.
En Sacramento, las marchas.
Luis Magaña shows ABC 10 posters of back in the day when he first met Cesar Chavez in 1974 when he was about 18 years old. The longtime farm worker advocate and organizer says it was during a tomato worker strike that extended to Sacramento County and Yolo.
Cesar Chavez,
Luis says Cesar Chavez was always surrounded by people. That would include farm workers who would take turns protecting him, and he would be surrounded by a group of people he trusted. He was never alone, and everyone knew that. He believes this is why there's so many people who had to have known about the sexual accusations being made against the union leader in the New York Times investigation. Magaña also says he later worked with Chavez on a strike in 1985 against a local grocery store. And back in the 90s, when he was part of the California Rural Legal Assistance Organization, there were already conversations among those who left that were surfacing about the abuse. Luis says they would start to talk, but people would terrorize them. They would see them as if it were taboo to speak about the errors. And so that's why we're all surprised now, because there was a seal to quiet all the errors, and now people are paying for it. Magaña also questions why Dolores Huerta never spoke up until now. In a statement released by Huerta, she said in part, "I am nearly 96 years old and for the last 60 years have kept a secret because I believed that exposing the truth would hurt the farm worker movement I have spent my entire life fighting for." Magaña says let's not forget that fight was for the workers and the most vulnerable community. And he says now with this out in the open, the victims can rest better.
Que en cada celebración,
Luis says in every celebration, in every event, it's been like torture for them. And those are now the people who can rest easier, although they were already damaged, like any person who is damaged by any physical abuse. He also has a message for those victims or people who may have known about the abuse. Luis says, don't be silent because the movement showed us to raise your voice to the most powerful, that was the abuser of the worker. And to the victims that haven't spoken out, this is the moment too to speak. It's for the good of the current workers, for the good of the community, and for the betterment of themselves. Magaña also hopes people don't lose sight of the movement, which was about giving a voice to those who needed one. But he says now more than ever, it's important to keep advocating for farm workers and not to tie one name to all the unions out there that continue to fight for them. Chris, Laura.
Roxanne, thank you.